And opinions of the following show do not reflect those of WSMN, its owners, and/or associates.
Lisa and Robin are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robin on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robin on the mic. You were listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live as well as YouTube. I am not made for bunker life. Let's just say if there is a nuclear disaster, throw me in the middle of it because I'm not living underground in some bunker. I can barely handle New England in February.
Right.
Good morning, Robin.
I feel like we have been, I do feel like a little bit of a caged animal.
Yes, I feel very claustrophobic. And the thing is, there's no, it's just, I don't know, It's too much.
We've been hammered with snow this year, like more so than, I don't know, since like the 90s or like early 2000s.
Well, because I plow, I remember some years that it was like, oh yeah, I remember this. Thankfully, they don't happen that often. But every time I made plans to have a nice dinner out on Tuesday, nope.
Yep.
Nope, be in the house. Yep. Stay in the house. You and the cat are fine.
I'm in quarantine.
Yeah, the cat's like, I don't know why you guys go out anyways. What do I tell you about leaving the house?
Why don't you stay here?
Just stay here. Like everything is here. Your food is here. Your bathroom is here. All your toys are here. You should be here.
He's like, you don't need anything outside.
You don't need anything outside.
No,
Come on now.
Yeah, somebody said, well, it's supposed to be like 63 coming up. I can't remember if it's this week or next week.
I can't wait.
We're looking at, tomorrow, Friday, it's supposed to be 50. Monday, 62. Tuesday, 67. Wednesday, 71.
Great. 71.
Right.
What is wrong with us in New England?
So as soon as he said that, I was like, hey, we're opening the pool on Wednesday. You can't even get out there.
There's 400 mounds of snow between you and the pool.
Well, usually we take the snowblower and we'll do a path all the way around it because we do have the little fire pit out there. And so last winter, it wasn't that much snow, but we could sit outside on sunny days and stuff. It was just a nice place to sit and have sunshine. Like right now, the only place to go is, if you want to trek through the snow, it's like the driveway. So yesterday I'm out leaf blowing all the ice and I'm soaking wet.
I love that you use a leaf blower for snow. I think that there's just Robin's snow blower is the leaf pack on her back, and she's
Chris is like, you should write a book, 101 Ways to Use a Leaf Blower. Because I do.
I had a tenant once overflow their washing machine. And so then it was all over the floor. And so they thought the best way to get rid of that was to blow with the leaf blower inside, but it was a gas blower, so it was setting off the carbon monoxide and the smoke detectors, and the fire department shows up and they're like, we want you to not use that.
Yeah, don't do that. I blow out the garage too. Like if it's a nice day, like I'll blow out the garage and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, inside the bathroom, not so much.
Yeah, but so Chris comes in, he's like, did you have the leaf blower in the, and I'm like, no, I just started it in here.
All smells all gassy.
Yes, it stays. It kind of just stays in there, and I'm like, ugh, ready.
So being home as much is quite the cooking. It's like a cooking show at the house.
It's either that or remodeling.
Yes.
So it's either two things. We're either going to cook or we're going to remodel something.
Right, and cooking is so much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been making so many things. Everything has turned into a calzone.
Nice.
So I started with just checking out calzone stuff. And so now everything, when I have a leftover, has become like, can I put that into a calzone?
Yes.
And the answer is yes.
All right, so tell me, what kind of calzones have you made? And do you pre-bought dough or do you make your own dough?
I'm not making my own dough yet.
No,
but I might have to make my own dough, but I don't see myself making my own dough. Because just the same way I want to make my own bread. I went through a period where I was trying to make my own bread and really perfect that. But I feel like there's so much, is it warm in the house? Is it cold? Is it damp? I feel like there's so many variables that I would get completely different results, and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
And I probably didn't have the patience at the time. I was probably like 30 when I started doing it.
Yeah, years ago when I'd make, well, we had a bread machine, and so I would put the dough in it, and I'd use different recipes, but the pizza dough didn't seem to be, it just never came out the way that I wanted it to. At least it wouldn't rise, or it would pull apart, or it didn't, or it tasted kind of funny. So I just figured, Market Basket, the pre-made doughs, or I think everywhere sells them now.
Yep.
But
there's one that's like made, like a pizza shop sells their dough, and it's got a red tag. I'll have to look at the label the next time.
Portland Pie?
Yes.
Because I think Portland Pie sells their dough.
So I've been using that one.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying it. I've made an Italian sub only in a calzone. I've made chicken cutlets into a calzone. I've made
like a chicken parm cutlet.
a chicken parm cutlet, and the last one I made was meatball sub.
Oh, that sounds so good.
And
but you also did like a spanakopita one too, didn't you?
I did the equivalent of a spanakopita one where I put tons of spinach and dill and green onions, and I used a little bit of leek too on that one. And that one, and feta cheese, that one came out amazing. The meatball sub one, you know how I when we were in Florida, I really wanted a meatball sub,
yes,
and then was very disappointed.
Yes,
not a disappointment at all. So I have no calzones in my cookbook. So I think part of it is like once you finish doing all your recipes and everything, you want something different.
Yeah.
But I've really honed in on just making my own calzones. And
so how do you do it? Do you quarter or do you just half your dough?
I half my dough and I make two.
Yep.
And they're pretty large. And I just am working to stretch it out, but I leave the exterior a little fatter.
Yeah.
And then I kind of roll them under.
Yeah.
To seal it, because I'm trying to seal it.
Yeah.
And then I make the relief cuts on top.
Yes. Now, do you brush it with egg white or anything like that?
I don't. So the first one I brushed with oil, a little bit of oil, which was fine.
Yeah.
But the one when I have tomato sauce in it and cheese, I feel like the oily sauce kind of comes out and touches it anyways.
Yeah.
So I haven't, if it's wet ingredients inside, I don't. But if it's drier ingredients inside, I will.
I would you could do it where you could, I don't know how they do. I haven't perfected it yet, but where they do that kind of like garlicky, herby, kind of like garlic bread. I don't know if you would spray it with oil but then you'd sprinkle like maybe Italian seasoning and some garlic and some Parmesan on top of that crust.
I think if you, in a pan, so I'm a big fan of when I have to do something, taking a shallow pan, putting a little bit of olive oil or butter in it, and then putting seasonings to toast and warm them up in there, and then using that to butter something. So I would use it that way.
That's a good idea.
So when I make I make two versions of garlic bread. I haven't made this one in a while, but I cut open French bread. I take tons of garlic, tons of butter, salt, a little bit of cheese, and then I take a little bit of what am I missing in there? Parsley. And I warm it all up so everything's warmed and melted. And the garlic is not cooked, but it's not raw.
Yeah.
And then I lay that in the middle, fold it over, wrap it up in aluminum foil, and leave it so it's not toasted, but really just warm and soft garlic bread. And then I do another one where I do the equivalent on halves, leave them face up, and then broil.
So that's what we do. We do, Chris has actually perfected it. He'll take a loaf of French bread, cut it in half, open it, and just put butter. And he'll do butter and chopped garlic. We'll do the fresh Parmesan, Italian seasoning, crushed hot pepper, and then you kind of leave it closed until it gets all melted and stuff. And then at the last minute, kind of open it so it melts the cheese and kind of heats everything up. It's so good.
My sister-in-law made one where she puts a bunch of mozzarella cheese on the top of it, and it was that was the thing that made me think, oh, my meatball sub needs to be on this garlic bread.
Oh my God, yes, that would be so good.
So I did make, 70 meatballs.
So how do you make your meatballs?
So I usually use 1 egg for every 2 pounds of meat.
Yeah.
And I usually do 2/3 beef and 1/3 pork. I usually don't do veal. I'm not a big veal person.
I don't use veal.
But I do like ground pork for a little bit more fat than the all beef ones.
Yeah.
And then I usually do seasonings in there, and then 1 egg per 2 pounds. And then
Do you put breadcrumbs in yours?
I use bread, not breadcrumbs, but I put a piece of bread in a Cuisinart, or I put like some French bread in a Cuisinart.
Yep.
And I usually do about 3/4 cup per pound of.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, per 2 pounds. I
For
do
2
3
pounds.
And I do them by feel.
Yeah.
So I don't like a real hard meatball,
Mm-mm.
and I don't like mushy meatballs. I don't like when they fall apart.
I don't like when you over knead the meatballs and they get really dense. It's just like when I don't like when you do over knead like a hamburger. Like people realize you don't have to mash that. It's like it needs to be loose together.
Yes.
I still feel like it's juicy. So I made chicken meatballs yesterday, and I'm like I actually think I like them better. For the longest time, I would never buy ground chicken. I still don't buy ground turkey because I feel like it doesn't matter how much.
I'm not a ground turkey person at all.
I haven't found anything that I would put in it that I like.
Right.
I just don't. I feel like it always still has a funny flavor to it, and I don't like the texture of it. But so I took the ground chicken. I put some basil, oregano. I put a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of onion powder in there, pepper. And then I use mayonnaise. I use mayo for my base.
Sticky. That's good.
And then I put Market Basket sells. They're the only place I've been able to find it. They sell a spicy panko crumbs. And so I'll take a blend of mix the spicy and regular that and kind of just fold it into that. And you barely need them. But they are so juicy. And so at the very end, what I do is when I'm getting ready to cook them, so I'll usually make them ahead of time and just let them sit, like the seasonings and stuff just sit in there, and I'll put like parchment paper over it and leave them in the fridge. Then I will take and roll them in panko, and then I pan fry them so they're crispy, and we serve that over red sauce, and it's out of this world. I don't think it would be good for a meatball sub. I mean, but they're delicious. Like I actually had one cold this morning. I'm like, oh my God, we've got.
So, and that was what I was going to ask you. Are you a fry or a no fry for a meatball?
If I'm making meatball subs, then yes. And I really have I only fry them, but I do pan fry them a little bit. I will kind of get them brown around the edges and stuff, and then I'll either soak them in sauce, let them just soak in sauce, or I'll bake them. But my love languages food is coming out on Tuesday. Everyone, you've heard me talk about it forever. Now it'll be available, and I have no fried chicken meatballs in here. And it's because I make them for a chicken soup. That's how. Yes.
But I do eat them alone, and then they're part of the soup.
But you don't batter yours. I mean, they're not breaded,
I don't.
are
They're
they?
not breaded. 42, page 42. But one thing that because I was the same way forever, I grew up in the 80s, and we were ad nauseum with the boneless, skinless chicken breast.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So when everyone started throwing ground chicken and everything, I took a hard stance.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening here that everything has to be chicken, but I'm not into it.
Yeah.
So it took me probably until I was 40 to do a chicken meatball. And then until I really got the one that I really liked.
Yeah.
It has to be in something because I can't just eat these alone.
I don't know that I would ever buy them out. And I see at the grocery store they have frozen chicken meatballs, and I'm like, wonder what that would be like. But I like mine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know that I would order that out anywhere because I don't know what you're going to get.
Right. And I do feel that way about chicken in general. Oh.
Yes.
You know, some people don't pull that little tendon out. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong with chicken.
Yes.
Just like I don't eat my mushrooms out.
And
I hardly ever have a
seeing
mushroom out.
the vein every once in a while. It's I don't know if it's an artery or something. It's I don't mind if it's got a little bit of dark on it, but you can see this big blood spot, and I'm like,
how much of a carnivore am I?
Every time
Keep
Chris
it down.
sees me making chicken, he's like, what is that pile? And I'm like, that's carnage. And he's like, everybody, you can eat that. And I'm like, I can cook that for you.
Yeah, you can have it.
I'll just do it in a separate pan, and I can keep that separate.
And I think it's the pickiness part, but also the part of me that I don't live in a third world country and I don't want to eat veins and feet and stuff like that. I know that people are like, they're delicious and you just have to know how to cook them. I know people love pig's feet, for example.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I feel, the same thing about tripe, let's hope we don't come to a time that I'm so starving that I'm eating feet and tripe. Let's just hope that everything's okay. We live a normal, regular life.
Brains and cow tongue. And so when we were in Paris,
I'm not an organ person at all.
I'm not. My mom used to love chicken livers, like fried chicken livers. Yeah.
I'm throwing up in my mouth as we speak. Go
I
ahead.
could not do that. She would do that every once in a while, like as a treat. Like, I can't do that.
So my father loved liver. Right. And every time they would cook it, at first they try to lie to you that it's steak and you're like, okay, then I don't like steak. Like add that to the list. Like you get to be really careful when you're lying to children about food.
Taste like?
I have no idea.
Well, yeah, you could set them up for, bad
real
food
trauma down the line.
Yeah.
When you start lying to children about food. And so there was several instances where they told me something was chicken or something was steak. And so then I'm like, well, I guess I don't like chicken or steak.
Right.
Like, take those off the menu. Apparently, I only like hamburger or, pepperoni on pizza.
Right.
It's like you gotta be salami. And it's funny how I think children have like a totally different palate too. Like their taste buds are not burnt off by pizza cheese, and they've never had funny cigarettes or all kinds of other stuff.
Things too, and I think we do dull down our senses by some of the things that we do.
Yes. And also, I think you're born, and then like everything decays. So think of like having the most. And them being organized to sweetness.
Sensitive too. Like, and some people don't get over that. Like, I'm still,
Yeah, I don't get over that.
To get over it.
I'm not getting over the tactile piece of it.
So, if you know me, I've never liked frogs. I mean, I did when I was young. We had a lake, and we would take all the tadpoles and put them in a kiddie pool down by the lake, and we'd take the two frogs that were mating, and we'd keep them in the pool, in the little kiddie pool, and we'd all, like, it was a whole group neighborhood effort. All the kids would go down, and we'd watch all these, tadpoles turn into pollywogs, these little tiny frogs, and we'd watch them, but then the boys would always, like, throw them at you. And it was just like, then you would find them like in your mailbox, or you would find them in your car when you're driving. You go to get in, you're running late to school, and there's a frog sitting on your passenger seat. So it was just, I think that's kind of where that came from.
Oh, definitely. That's where that came from.
At Myrtle Beach, if you've ever been to Myrtle
and
Beach.
And then Robin's driven off the side of the road, and she's upside down in a ravine. And they're like, what happened there? Frog.
Yes. Well,
Someone
a lot
put
of times
frog
I would
in
go around, I'd open the door, but I was always afraid, like, I don't want to jump at me.
Yes.
And it was something like you didn't expect it, and it was like, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
So every year when we were kids, we used to go down to Myrtle Beach, and my aunts and uncles and things would come down. And back then, they had all these all-you-can-eat seafood buffets for like $9.99. Like, you can't even. I don't think it's like $59.99 right now for all you can eat. But there was this one restaurant that had like those metal troughs. Like where they do drywall or what, the mudding thing, that trough, all the way down the middle. There was like different sections of it, and just paper towels, and it was like brown. I want to say paper bag stuff that they would spread out for your thing. And I just remember as a kid looking at these piles of shrimp, like peel and eat shrimp. I mean, massive piles, because my family could eat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about 6 sisters and their spouses and kids. And so it's a big, long table, and crab legs and things like that. And so I was a picky eater. I would eat fried shrimp. I don't even know what else I would eat on there, because I wasn't eating like peel and eat shrimp then. My dad was like, you should try these little chicken legs, like these little drumsticks. And I'm like, oh, they look good. And knowing that I didn't like frogs, it was frog legs. It was like deep fried frog legs. And I bit into it, and I'm like, that's not, it was chewy, and it just had a weird taste. And I'm like,
yeah, it's the amphibian.
Trauma when I found out it was a frog. So that probably even cemented my, don't feed me. But I'm like, how could you do that? Like, you're deathly afraid of something, and you feed your child that.
Yeah, because they're thinking that's the time I'm getting you back for something you did to them.
Right. I'm like, So I take food very seriously. You don't mess around with people's food.
Yeah, and I've always been someone who doesn't lie about what it is.
Yeah.
I'll say if you don't like, when I'm doing with trying to encourage kids to eat things, I'll say you don't have to. You just try it. You don't have to have it.
Yes.
And then I try to get them to articulate what about it don't you like, because my nephew is perfect example of this. Do you have any strawberries? And then you give them strawberries and like, I don't like these strawberries.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then you take one and you're like, yeah, they're kind of flabby.
Yeah.
They're kind of like one day past ripe, where they're no longer like crisp and bright. And you're like, yeah, I'm not going to make you eat these.
Yeah.
Because I get it.
Strawberries are so hard.
You have like that. Most fruit, because of wherever it's coming from, you're lucky if you get 24 hours with fruit sometimes.
Well, it's like tomatoes too. Like a lot of times they're shipped green and they'll ripen, or or they're refrigerated. And I'm like, I never refrigerate my tomatoes because I feel like you always lose flavor.
And they barely taste like tomato to begin with.
Yes.
Because it's funny, John's always saying like, you're Italian and you don't eat tomatoes. I'm like, well, because they're so blah.
I love tomatoes,
but try to find a good tomato, like a tomato that tastes like tomato. Even sometimes with the strawberries, do they taste like strawberries, or do they taste like big?
It depends on it depends on when you get them. Every once in a while you can get some, but like even just holding the container of strawberries up and looking through them, you're like, no.
Right. So
They
Montreal
should just put them in a vat, and you just pick your own.
Montreal has amazing fruit. And they every time I've gone to strawberry, I've had strawberry flavored strawberries.
Yeah.
And I'll usually just stand there with the little container and just pop them in my mouth and fling off the little green parts.
Yep.
Just because I can't even take it. They smell so good.
Well, so when we moved into this house, she has a little strawberry patch. I'm surprised she ever grew strawberries because it's outside of the fence. Not that the fence would keep them out, but something eats them all the time. They start to get a little bit green, or they start to get big. So last year, my son put some in a potted plant, like in a pot, and we were growing them, and you actually forget what a homegrown strawberry tastes like. Like you, every once in a while at the grocery store, you're like, oh, those are good strawberries. It is nothing like a sun-ripened strawberry. And when my kids were little, we used to go down in North Carolina. Right down the road for my mom's was a strawberry patch, and I have a picture of my kids. Kayla's sitting in her little sundress with her little sun hat on, and she's got strawberry juice just running down her. It's all over her face, and she's got strawberry juice running down her arms. It's just the sweetest picture. And they both have their big buckets of strawberries. But man, we should do that.
Yeah,
I want to grow some strawberries this year.
I would love to grow a little bit more food, but I'm more of a fruit tree person.
Yeah.
Because it's just happening without your intervention.
Yes.
Where I feel like there's a lot of tending to.
Yes.
And then, I don't know.
If I could grow them on my deck. But we have a little orange tree, a lime tree, and a lemon tree in our kitchen right now. They did really great on the deck, but you can tell like I'm trying to winter them. The lime tree had all these little tiny flowers on it and buds.
Oh, it must have smelled fantastic.
Well, they were so tiny. It did smell good. But the next thing you know, they all fell off. And I was like, well, the flower will fall off, and then the fruit will come on. We must have, I thought we would have at least 15 limes. Nope. It just never did anything.
You know what it's like?
So I'm like, well, it is winter.
I was going to say, this is not my space. Yes. The lime's like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I've been kidnapped.
This is not
If you could take me back home.
Yeah, this is not my climate.
I would appreciate it.
Yes.
Because I don't know what's happening here, but I don't like it.
I'm hoping they will.
I had an orange tree in my office when I worked in Woburn. I bought a beautiful orange tree and for the smell.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was over by a corporate window. You'd have like a big window in your office.
Did it do well? Did it produce fruit?
No, I don't think so. But it did flower and make a nice smell in my office because everyone used to come in and be like, oh my God, it smells like oranges in here.
Yeah, it does smell good.
And it's like better than yours.
I'd like to do an avocado. I'd like to grow like a little avocado.
I had an avocado tree. I had a mango tree. I had papaya trees.
Did it work?
Not here.
Oh.
Yeah, but it does. Yeah. I had champagne mangoes with those little tiny mangoes.
Yeah.
And the problem with fruiting trees is you have no fruit and then you have 450 pounds of fruit.
Yeah.
I had a banana tree and you're like, oh, great, we're going to have bananas. Then all of a sudden you have like 200 pounds of bananas. And then the avocados, you have like 500 pounds of, and you know that you
Can
get
eat banana and avocado every day.
and so then you learn you can freeze certain things, like you
Yeah.
can freeze bananas outside of the skin, take the skin off. I would literally process fruit every day and make,
my
and then
gosh.
that's where I was like, smoothies for breakfast, smoothies for lunch, and smoothies for dessert. And you want a smoothie? I got a smoothie. You want some ice cream? Just throwing everything
Yeah.
frozen into something
Yeah.
else. I'd make a lot of tarts or a lot of mostly tarts because I don't have a good pie crust recipe. I don't have. I know that you're probably supposed to use like Crisco or so much butter. I'm
Yeah.
not going to use it. So I always do like a crumb or a crumble on top, which is like oats and butter and a little bit of flour and usually like a nut or something. And then so you have a crunchy top and then you don't have any bottom.
So I made an apple pie one year, and somebody had sent to us as a gift. It was like candied pecans. Like
Ooh.
different kinds of candied pecans. There's like 3 different flavors
Yes.
on it. I crushed those up and put those in my crumble on the top. It was the best crumble I'd ever had
I bet
because it was crunchy too. Like it had because a lot of times, when you do the butter, the brown sugar, and you do like the flour in there, sometimes it doesn't get crunchy.
that's why I do the oatmeal.
Yeah. See, Chris doesn't like oatmeal on his thing.
Okay, because there's
Unless you get
and I
it
do a
enough
little bit of
moisture
honey
that you don't get like a dry piece of
Yes. Yeah. You
oatmeal.
definitely have to. And when you're doing it on top of like a crisp, there's enough liquid in it that usually it softens it from underneath, and then the top
Yeah.
is just crispy. But I don't use a ton of oatmeal, but I do use oatmeal because you need like chew.
Yeah.
You need something
Yes.
that chews, or
Yeah.
it doesn't work. I don't think.
Yeah, because then it feels it's almost like just like
Sand.
floured crumbles on top. Yeah.
Get dry sand
Yes.
on my tart.
But I do think the nuts in a crumble is the key
Yes.
to it.
I love candied pecans on salad. I know you don't like lettuce.
Well, actually, I have to I buy the it comes in the long square plastic container, and it's like baby butter, sweet butter, lettuce. Like I haven't taken it and eaten it out by itself. Like just, hey, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
crunch on this like a chip. But I have eaten it. But I do notice that I'm using less dressing, and I absolutely love that salad. And I'm like, I don't like I don't like lettuce on not
Anything.
particularly warm stuff. Well, you know what's funny? I make a chicken salad. If I make chicken salad, I love cucumbers on sandwiches. Slice them thin, and I like the raw spinach leaves on chicken salad. But I don't eat it, and I don't want it in a salad.
Yeah.
I don't like the veins in salad, and like even like iceberg lettuce. I don't like when you get to the white part, the core part of it. But that baby butter lettuce, or it's butter leaf lettuce or something, it's just so soft and buttery. It's got a great flavor. It's not overpowering.
It's awesome for wraps.
Yes.
Like the Manoa wraps.
Yes.
Hoisin wraps.
Love
yeah,
those.
Those are really, really good. I do sometimes take that lettuce and put like tuna salad in there, or I do the hoisin chicken, and then it's a gluten-free meal,
Yeah.
and how often do you get those?
Yeah.
When you're making calzones every week, how often are you going to get that?
You got to find a good
gotta get-
gluten-free crust.
So it's really funny when I tried to have a different meal with the meatballs every day. So I had meatballs with a ricotta lemon cheesy pasta.
that
So instead
sounds-
of having red sauce on the pasta, I
Yeah.
only had red sauce on the meatballs, and then I had like the cheesy.
Yeah, balance.
Yes, and so that was awesome. Then I had regular spaghetti and meatballs. Then I had meatball calzone. Then I had stuffed peppers. So, and like I managed to have even though we were eating
Right.
meatballs, it was
In different, that's awesome.
in different venues.
Well, because I think you just get stuck in a rut when you're cooking. Like,
And the thing is, like, you're making meatballs, and it's like, oh, well, maybe my in-laws will come over, and then 70 meatballs isn't a big deal. But then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it snowed. No one's coming over.
right.
Now I get to eat 70 meatballs.
Now what am I going to do with this? Kate, have you ever frozen
I freeze them before I cook them. So what I do is, if I'm going to freeze meatballs, which sometimes I do, I put them on a parchment paper,
Yep.
on a cookie sheet, and let them solidify pretty hard. Like, either in the back of the fridge for several hours or in like the top of the freezer for an hour.
Yeah.
And then I let them get, so when I put them in a Ziploc bag and then put them in the freezer, they don't clump together. So I can pull out.
Yeah.
All right, we only want 8. Okay, pull out 8 and then use them. Versus if you don't do that one step, the chance of them mushing together and then you have meatloaf.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a big meatloaf person, which is kind of like a meatball, but
it is. But I think you have to have a good meatloaf.
My sister-in-law does one where she's got
It has to be well done too.
I have to. She's got she uses like a tomato sauce. It's Worcestershire sauce, mustard, and brown sugar, I think, that she does for. I've tried different ones. I've also tried mozzarella. I've taken mozzarella and stuffed it inside, and I've wrapped it in bacon. I've done one with barbecue. I'm not a big barbecue flavor, like barbecue sauce person. It has to be like the right. I don't like that strong hickory.
Yes.
I don't like the strong hickory.
And I don't like liquid smoke.
No, I don't.
Makes me want to cough.
Yes. And I feel like a lot of barbecue sauces have too much of that liquid smoke in it.
Yeah, and I don't like any liquid smoke.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and it's almost like you just want to make it smoky, but now it tastes like an ashtray.
Yeah.
So something happens in the processing of it where, mesquite or like when you're doing various things.
Yeah.
I don't want that artificial piece because I feel like I can taste that.
Oh, definitely.
And then I'm always feeling like I'm coughing.
You're not.
No one wants me to spit half of a spare rib or half of a baby back rib. Sorry about that.
Yes. And the thing is, I actually like, I don't know if you can get it around here, but like barbecue chicken. But I think the best way to do barbecue chicken is with the skin on. And I don't like to cook chicken with bones and skin. So
you don't do whole chickens?
Nope.
Really?
No. If I'm going to do a whole chicken, I'll just buy a rotisserie chicken. But I usually will take it all apart and do something with it. So I did a rotisserie chicken.
So what is your weirdness about the whole chicken?
Well, it's too close to the animal.
Okay.
I don't like the, hey, I have graduated because now I will debone a rotisserie chicken. I used to never buy it because I'm like, I don't want to touch the bones, or I would waste so much of the meat that I felt bad because I would like, not going to do that. Now I can strip it pretty much and like clean it all off, but I don't like when the skin gets slimy or.
So you wear gloves?
Yes, but
because then you don't have to feel it.
I still feel like it's something about like when you take the leg off and you're like separating the bone, or you take the wing and you're separating, and you hear that little bit of a
crunch,
crack, and I'm like, ugh.
Well, I do think it's really funny because I'm a carnivore. Like across the board, I am a carnivore. I just don't want to have to be so carnivore.
Yes, I don't want to do, which is actually funny because.
Like, I don't want to kill the thing.
Really I don't either. And I feel like I don't like when you can see like the bumps still on the skin.
Yes.
And like turkey. Like I don't like that. And I don't like the idea of doing like, I don't know, the skin, which is fine. Like I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because
so
I can take a
better.
roast. I can take a roast, and I don't know what you call it when you butterfly, and
like bookmark it where you roll it out.
Yeah, and you roll it out so you can stuff it.
Yep.
Like I will do that with a pork, and no problem.
Really? Because I think pork can feel weird too.
I feel like it's not as like slimy. Like
it is not as
It's not as slimy, and it's not as like loose.
Yeah.
I
When
like
I
it's
first
firmer.
started cooking, I would make chicken and then I wouldn't eat it, and John would always say to me, "Why aren't you eating this meal?" Like I was poisoning him. Like, why am I eating a meal that you're not eating? And it's like, you don't understand. I've manhandled the chicken too much.
Yes.
And then I started wearing gloves.
Yeah.
I got past and over that. And I went from like McDonald's to cooking in my own house.
Yes.
That's a big transition.
Oh my
God, I don't think we talk about enough how if you don't grow up with cooking and see it and feel it and touch it and it's normal and everything else, and then you have any kind of texture weirdness.
Yes.
You're just like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
I'm
Chicken
an
is
adult required to, because I would even, when I do shrimp, I don't like other people's shrimp because I take off the backbone, but I also take the underneath.
Yes.
There's like the little poop chute underneath, and I
Oh
take
my
those
God.
off, and I don't know if people do that.
I don't like seeing some shrimp that has not been deveined. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. So it's so funny how, like, maybe because we are spoiled that we are so far away from our food chain, but how odd it is to
Yeah, like when you go to a Japanese or Chinese restaurant or somewhere, sometimes you get that and you see like I can't eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to clean it out. Chris is like, do you want me to clean it out for you? I'm like, no. And he's like, you're going to waste that food. I'm like, you can eat it. Because I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't washed.
Right.
That's how I feel like maybe it wasn't washed. But so when I started doing chicken, when I, went from McDonald's to making my own food,
what the hell is happening here?
I was like, I would never do it because I didn't like the feel it. And then you'd see that little cartilage in there. You would see the blood spots, or you see the little vein in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't even know what they call it. Like, you can actually see it. It's like, it looks like a little straw. And I'm like, I don't know if that's artery or and I'm like,
ligament.
I'm like, I'm not eating that, and I'm not eating any meat that was around it.
We're going on for 45 minutes about every gross thing about food right before lunch.
I know.
Our listeners are going to be like, I'm not having chicken for lunch.
Right.
I'm not having shrimp for lunch.
Well,
there's
so
always
I started
pizza.
Yes, pizza.
There's always a
burgers.
sub you didn't have to touch.
Yes. Well, I've never had one, but they say when we do have a Jersey Mike's here, and they said you should get it Mike's way.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Mm.
I don't know if it's like a different kind of seasoning or something on it. But they also said the downside of Jersey Mike's is they don't toast anything.
Oh.
I was like, oh.
Well, it depends on your bread. If you have unbelievably good fresh bread, I don't want you toasting it.
I like an Italian when you toasted the bread and the cheese that's got a little bit of like.
Not my Italian. I don't like it. My meatball sub, I can't not have toasted.
I think they do like hot subs, but like
Yeah.
that. But like they don't have like you
The
couldn't
toaster
do,
oven.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think they have a toaster oven. But so my trick with chicken was I learned to like. I would freeze it, and then when it started, it's still a little bit thaw. It's still a little bit frozen. I could cut it, and I'm like different texture altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's the way I'll do it. And I don't like thick chicken.
I'm a huge pound your chicken person.
Yes.
So, take
Pound
this
your
out of.
chicken.
I'm going to say take this out of context and slice it however you want it. But you should pound your meat. I
Yes.
mean, you can even pound
Yes.
steak.
Yes.
But it's breaking up the fibers that become
Yeah.
really tough.
But breaking up when you pound steak, does it make it? Does it make it more tender?
I think so.
I would think that if you're, I don't know.
I
don't know. I'll
So
have to try it.
depending, again, this is like certain places have really good meat that seems to be super tender, and then other times it's like I can barely knuckle myself through with a
Yeah.
serrated knife through this
Yeah.
steak. What's happening here?
Well, we just got prime. Like Chris will only buy prime steaks, and the cut from his to my daughter's boyfriend was night and day.
Mm.
Same place, I don't know if it came from the same, but it still said prime ribeye. But it's amazing how both of them had such a different texture. I mean, in looking at it raw, the marbling looked great on both of them. But I'm like, wow, that's really
Sometimes it'll happen. Like John will be struggling with his, and I'll be okay with mine. So I'm like, oh, here, take half mine because I don't know what's happening over there.
yeah. Yes.
What's happening over
I
there?
always seem to get that one.
Do you always?
Yes, seem to get that one. Not all the time.
So it's funny. I do like a grass-fed beef that is finished a little bit on corn because I think it's a little fattier.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I
Like
would agree with you.
I remember the first time I had like all grass-fed beef, and I'm like, what is this? Because it was distinctly
Yeah.
different. You're like, oh, how different.
See, do you think that you can taste the difference between Wagyu and a
I
really
don't like-
good
I don't-
prime?
No, that's not true. I don't like dry aged steak.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've had a lot of Wagyu steak. Is Wagyu always dry aged?
I don't think so.
Okay, because
don't
I
know.
do
It's
not
always
like
stayed-
it. I do not like a dry aged steak. I might be the only one, but I don't like it
Why?
because it never. So I like steak bloody, just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I want it to be moist and like that. For lack of better terms, apologies to our listeners. It's a little bit of blood. Like it's just a little
Yeah.
bit of wetness.
Yeah.
And softness and moistness, and the dry age doesn't have that. And I feel I'm a very specific temperature person too.
Yeah.
I like medium rare,
Yeah.
and the better the steak, the more medium rare I like
Yeah.
it. But there's something about dry age that I don't ever feel like it's moist or wet or juicy. It feels dehydrated to me. It tastes
I
dry
don't know.
to me.
So I mean, I know that we've had Wagyu. I don't know that was dry aged. Somebody gave us a gift one year for like all these select cuts of like Wagyu burgers, Wagyu steaks. They had a tomahawk in there, like different things. I don't remember it being dry aged. Like I don't know if it was or not, but I mean it was good. But I honestly couldn't tell the difference between that and a really good cut of prime.
yeah, so I stopped buying it because everyone's like, "Oh, get the dry aged one," and I was like, I distinctly don't like it. What I like about steak, it's missing the one thing I really. When I want a steak,
Yeah.
I'm like carnivore want a steak.
Yeah. I see. I can't do the blood on my plate, and I don't like the texture of the medium rare. Like Chris will get like. I mean, he has eaten it rare, like where it should have been cooked a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they've like flashed it. Some
Yeah.
people like that. It's not his
I don't want to chew
preference.
it too much.
I don't want to slice into it, and I don't want to see the marbling. I don't want to see the white vein in there. And I also just don't like. You see the blood on my plate. I know we're talking about gross stuff.
But the thing is like
But
when
when I
it
feel
comes
like I'm
to
chewing,
steak,
like
I
I feel
actually
like
like
I'm
a little blood
chewing
on
raw
it.
meat. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm chewing like. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm really
Like I just
iron
bit a piece
poor.
off of the cow.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm really iron poor, and I know when I want that steak that way, it's like I know I want.
yeah.
Like I'm
You
trying
need
to
iron.
do like an blood infusion by my mouth. Like, you know what I mean? How disgusting. But that's the way I feel.
So what is your best or your favorite recipe out of your book?
So I can't have a favorite because I love them all. However, I did make sure when I was choosing them that you probably don't have these recipes in your home kitchen.
Yeah.
So there's no regular meatball. There's no meatloaf.
But they're
there's no.
but they're simple. But they're still so simple. Like your stuffed
I try to make
mushrooms are
them-
amazing.
I know that's why I opened it for that page for you because you're always like, "What's your stuffed mushroom recipe?"
And then it's buried in an email. Then I'm like, did she send it through a text or an email? And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ask her.
I really like the 4 pepper prawn curry,
Where's that one? What page?
page 75.
Oh,
So honestly, I love everything in here. But what is
the cover is amazing.
my butternut squash quesadilla? I really like that. I tried not to. So there's a chicken parm in here because I insist that you pound your chicken. And I
Coconut
also,
crusted shrimp with spicy orange dipping sauce sounds out of this world.
like you get those little appetizers at restaurants.
Yes.
And they're super easy to make. And I make another dish that you have to toast the coconut for. So I'm like, while you have coconut, just make this the next day.
Yeah.
Like in real life, when you're cooking and
Yeah.
you do something in your kitchen, you want to make the best use of your time in the kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why those two kind of like always go together. Whenever I have one dish, I'm always having the next dish
Yes.
a day or so later because you're trying to use up leftovers and
Well, you've got 3 right here. The coconut crusted fish fillet with creamy coconut rum sauce. That sounds amazing.
oh my God, it's heaven.
The coconut crusted shrimp with spicy orange dipping sauce. Like, I really want to make that.
Yeah, it's really
that makes
good.
my mouth water. And then the spicy coconut mussels over couscous. I did have that. That was really
Yeah.
good.
So it's really funny because I think people don't think about making mussels at home.
No,
I probably have 3 different mussel recipes. And I was going to put all 3 in the book, but then when you start like having to crunch down
Yeah.
the number of pages, it's like, all right, well, let me put the one that I know everyone always does white wine and garlic because
Yeah.
it's delicious.
Yeah.
But this one with couscous to help like soak up the liquid underneath is
Yeah.
just, it's worth making.
It's so good.
It's
so good. It's almost like you actually want more
Yeah, yeah.
of the sauce in it.
Yes.
But I think people are afraid to get mussels, like afraid to cook mussels. I think I don't know if that's true for just me, but like
No, everyone's afraid of mussels.
because I don't think they know how to do it right. Or
And I put the
how do
instructions.
how do you know when there's a mussel that's not a good mussel?
Okay, so I did put
Because
this.
you do that.
Yeah. So I did put this in because I do think people are afraid to cook mussels at home. And you just need a little bit of knowledge and then that'll make your life so much easier. So one of the things that you have to do is you have to keep them icy cold. Like they have to be on ice when you're transporting them.
Yes.
And then you have to fill a large bowl with very cold water, even throw a couple of ice cubes. And then you soak the mussels for 10 to 15 minutes. You strain them because you're trying to get any kind of sand or grit out of them.
Yes.
First off. But then you'll notice that if any, when they're closed, are not completely, when they're cold, are not completely closed, you have to get those because they died. Because mussels will open and close, open and close, open and close. And when they're in really cold water, they close. But then when you cook them, if they're not all the way open, throw them away because they were also dead, but they were dead in the closed position and you just didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's how you protect yourself. And it's super easy. And even when you're in restaurants, you should know, never try to manipulate open a closed mussel because you don't want to get sick.
You don't want that.
No one wants
You
food
won't like
poisoning.
You won't like that on the back end. Trust me.
That'll come out both ends. Have
So-
you ever been food poisoned from fish?
No, but my mom did, and I can't remember the restaurant up in Portsmouth. It's a chain.
Mhm.
It's not the one that used to be in Bedford where Murphy's Tap Room is. What was that? Like Longboat years ago. Not
okay.
Longboat or I think they had one in Salem too.
I can't remember.
Like a French porch. I don't remember. Anyway, there was our Newt. Does it start with a Newton? Some kind of seafood restaurant started with an N.
All I can think of is Newbridge
Newman's.
Cafe, and that's up in Massachusetts.
Anyway, something like that. But she and my husband had split some mussels, and it was mussels and clams. Not clams. Maybe some oysters. We don't know which one it was because he didn't get sick. They had the exact same meal, same appetizer. And literally by the time we were on our way home, we were having to stop like every 5 minutes. She was throwing up and then you had to go to the bathroom and I'm like, oof, that's not good.
Yeah.
So not by seafood, but I've had a little bit like a touch of food poisoning. Thank God, because I'd probably stop eating altogether.
So I had food poisoning from shrimp when I was probably 10. Maybe I was 12. I didn't eat shrimp again until I was in my 20s.
I believe that.
It was like
it
a
can damage you.
minimum of 10 years
Yeah.
before I ate shrimp again because I was like, no, thank you.
Yes. I was trying to find your stuffed eggplant, like rollatini thing.
They're more towards the beginning.
That was good. I tried that one.
So I've been on a couple of guest podcasts where I've talked to various food people, like chefs of restaurants or like the food entrepreneurs. And I'm going to start posting those on our page too. So you can
that's
find
actually
them.
a great idea.
But they've been such fun conversations with everyone because we all have our own peculiarities around food. Like we all have our pet peeves. We all have our preferences. And I think it's something that it fascinates me because you can tell the most about a person, I think, through their food life.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Like there's so many different, I hear two things about you and I'm like, I know what your childhood looked like. I know what certain things happened because of food traumas or, and then there's some people, they're just so unbelievably open to food. It doesn't matter. They're not texture conscious or they're so
my
experimental.
cousins, because I was picky, and now that my kids are in their 20s, they're definitely opening their, mind and willing to try new things and different things, much more so than I was when I was in my 20s. But, even though that I knew that I was picky, I tried not to let my kids be picky. I was always offering food. Their cousins, we would all go camping up north in Maine, and they would come up from New York and they would come and get seafood. And the kids, even the youngest, is 2. And she's just shoveling lobster in. She's, eating clams, mussels. It doesn't matter what they were served. They love, love, love seafood. And I'm like, my kids didn't. A lot of it, too, it's that I liked it, but I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to prepare it at home really well, so we didn't have it.
Yep.
We did tuna swordfish steaks one time, and it had already gone past.
Oh.
So my mom's husband, my stepdad, he used to do tuna steaks and swordfish on the grill all the time, and it was delicious. I never did it at home because I didn't know how to do it. And then my husband's like, I'm going to do it. I'll do it. I think we had waited a day too late, and you could taste that little fishy taste to it. And I'm like, nope, I can't do it.
Yeah, I am a pan-fried person for a lot of things. I love a pan-fried steak and finished off in the oven. I think that's so much better than certain cuts have to be grilled.
On a cast iron?
No, I just do it in a regular. I don't own a cast iron pan because I don't know how to clean it.
Oh, I have a cast iron. You don't really clean it.
I know, that's what bothers me.
And you just wipe it out.
I know.
You just wipe it out.
And then
it
I'm
depends
like,
on what you're doing, and then you oil it again.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I will every once in a while I just cure it in the oven again. Like I put my oil in there, and so it's gonna burn off anything that you've got in there.
Yeah. So I think the first time I tried a cast iron pan, I attempted to wash it once, and then I think I ruined it, and then could never really quite get it back. And then I was just like, I don't need a cast iron pan. I don't need this. This is too much stress for me. You know.
I like it because I think it gets stuff. If you're trying to blacken or crispy something, I think it works way better.
In a cast iron, I imagine that it's super, like the chemical reaction or something that happens, and it must be easier. Because I do use, I have nonstick pans, and then I have just regular aluminum. I guess they're aluminum pans. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're steel. But they have no nonstick surface on them. And I do like those because that's when I know something's done. It just pulls off of, just pulls off. But I like my swordfish, my tuna steaks, and my steaks. 9 times out of 10, I'm cooking them in a pan.
Yeah.
And finishing them in the oven. I've got that dialed down. I've got the most amount of surface area that has really cooked, crispy edge, which is what I want.
Yeah.
Where on the grill, it's like, I have the grill marks, but
yeah, you don't get the crispy. You don't get the blackened.
Yes, piece of it. And but I will do swordfish kebabs on skewers, and that's probably the only grilled swordfish. But I never grill tuna.
Yeah.
I am pan-searing that because I want the brown on the outside, and then I want to control how I want it to be red in the middle of my tuna steaks. But I have a couple of tuna recipes in here. I personally think tuna and swordfish are my favorite two steaks. I mean, favorite two fishes. But you are listening to Lisa and Robin on the mic on another Thursday. We're live on WSMN, 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live. Stay tuned. We're coming back at the top of the hour. We'll talk more food and other fun stuff. Stay tuned.